the balls or standing if you haven't got one. Good. I'm just going to put a bit more light on. So you basically want feet sort of slightly wider than hip width apart. Thinking about knees, ankles underneath the knees. And we're just going to start with circles. So if you're standing, just do the pelvic circles. So we're just going to start with circles. Nice big circles. You want to feel like you're taking that pelvis through its full range of movement there. So nice and slow, big circles, really loosening that pelvis off. Morning, Paul. We've just started, so we're just sitting on the balls and nice big pelvic rolls. And then we're going to change direction. Good. And again, nice and slow. Taking that pelvis through its full range of movement. Good. Last time. And then we're coming back to the center again. So making sure the ears are over shoulders, shoulders over hips, ankles underneath the knees, and we're just going to find our neutral spine position. So tucking that tailbone underneath you, we're flattening through the lumbar spine, then we're going to roll that ball back and feel the arching through the lumbar spine. So one more time, draw the ball towards your heels, feel the flattening through the lumbar spine, pushing that ball away, feeling that arching through the lumbar spine. So finding the halfway point between the two, nice neutral spine position. Thinking about that deep lateral breathing. So deep breath in through the nose, feel the rib cage expanding. Out through the mouth, feel those rib cage drawing together. Think about that belt around your waist, drawing the sides towards each other, belly button back towards the spine, and feel those pelvic floor muscles lifting up. So we're going to relax the arms down by the side. I'm going to start with those forward shoulder rolls. Again, nice and slow, just taking the shoulders through their full range of movement. Good. Loosening up any tightness in the shoulders. One more time forward, and then we're going to reverse up to the ears, over the mountain, and down the other side. Good. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. And one more time. And then we're relaxing those shoulders down your back. Hands hanging down by the sides. On the in-breath, we're going to float the arms up. So locking those shoulders down the back as we reach the arms up towards the ceiling. On the out-breath, push the air away as you bring the arms back down. Good. One more time. In-breath, locking those shoulders down the back as we float the arms up towards the ceiling. This time we're going to bring the arms down to shoulder height. Good. We're going to bend the elbows, place the hands behind the head and interlock those fingers. Now make sure you don't tip forward. Keep the ears over the shoulders. Shrug those shoulders up to your ears. Draw the shoulders down your back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together at the back. Unlock the fingers. Keep the palms facing away from you as you bring the hands back and the hands down to the side. Good. In breath, floating the arms back up to shoulder height. Bend the elbows, interlock the hands behind the head. Shrug the shoulders up to your ears. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together at the back. Unlock the fingers, palms facing away from you, and we're bringing the hands back down to your side. So that's just opening up through the chest with having those palms facing away from you. So relaxing the arms down by the side. Now we're going to drop left ear to left shoulder. Just holding that there for a little breath. And then we're going to drop the chin to the chest, rubbing the chin along the chest. Take your time. Feel the stretch through the neck, ending right ear over right shoulder. And again, chin to chest, rubbing the chin along the chest, ending up with left ear over left shoulder. We're going to do one more to each side. Very slow movements. Take your time. Just stretching up through that neck. Ending with the left ear over the left shoulder and then coming up to the center again. Brilliant. And just give those shoulders a roll. So keeping the left hand down, we're going to slide the left hand down towards the left side of the ball. As we do, we're going to bring the right arm over the top. So we're just opening up through that right side. In breath to center. Taking the left arm up to the ceiling, slide that right hand down and reaching that left arm over the top. Good. One more time to each side. Left hand down, right arm up to the ceiling, lengthening through the waist, over into the side bend. Good. Coming back to the center. Left arm up, right arm down, lengthening through the waist, and over into that right side bend. Brilliant. Coming up to the center, we're going to take both arms straight out in front of you. So keeping that left hip pushed forward, we're going to take the left arm back, follow the hand with the head all the way back, so we're getting that rotation through the spine. In breath to center, bringing the arms back in front of you. Keep the shoulders down the back. Take the right arm back. Follow the hand with the head. Push that right hip forward. And center back up again. One more time to each side. Focus on keeping those shoulders down as well. Push that left hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. In breath to center. And last time to the right side. Good. Pushing that right hip forward. Feel that rotation through the back. Back to the center again. Then we're going to bend the left elbow. Place the right elbow into the crook of that left arm. Wrap your hands around each other and see if you can take hold of your hands. Drawing the shoulders down the back, you're going to lift the hands and the elbows up towards the ceiling as high as you can. So don't hug the hands in close. Keep the hands away from your face or head, and then lifting up, draw the shoulders down the back. Feeling that stretch through the back of the shoulders, maybe through the upper arms. And relax, and we're changing. So left elbow into the crook of the right arm. Wrap the hands round, lift the hands up, draw the shoulders down the back, feeling that stretch. Good, and then relax, shake those arms off, give the shoulders a bit of a roll, and we're ready to rock and roll. So if you're not on the ball, we're going to come down to lying. I'm sorry, you're probably going to be jumping up and down a bit, but we're going to come down to lying on our backs. If we're on the ball, we want to be right at the end of the mat. I'll just talk you through. We're going to very gently, by C-curling the back, come forward. So we're lying on the ball with the head comfortably sitting on the ball. Now, ideally, you want to make sure you're still got your feet on the mat, just because it gives you a nice surface. So you might want to have a little play. If you feel like you're rolling off the ball, just come back up again. So C curving, have the hands down so you feel like you're balancing yourself on there. Walk forward until you feel your head is comfortably lying on the ball. Then you want to squeeze through those glutes, because you don't want to be collapsing through the hips. So we're squeezing through the glutes. Make sure the feet are underneath the knees and hips lifted, rib cage down. How's everyone doing? All good? Okay, excellent. All right. If you start to feel uncomfortable in this position, come off the ball and just lie on the floor. So we're going to float right, left arm up towards the ceiling, palms facing each other. Keep squeezing through those glutes. On the in-breath, we're floating the arms out to the side. Take the back of the hands down towards the floor. Feel the opening up through that chest. On the out breath, floating the arms back up to the ceiling again. Good. One more time. In breath, floating the back of the hands down towards the floor. Feel that opening through the chest. Just turn your head from the left to the right, stretching out through the neck at the same time. Good. Head back to the center and floating those arms back up to the ceiling. Palms facing away from you. We're going to go right arm up above the head, left hand down. If you're on the ball, keep circling all the way. So you're coming all the way in a nice circle. If you're on the floor, drag those fingers on the floor out into the windmill arms. We're going to go left arm up, right arm down. Circle them round. Good, back up to the ceiling again. Brilliant. Relaxing the arms down. If you've just got onto the ball, it's good. We'll just have a little play. You can have a little play afterwards. We're going to push back on the ball. So the ball is sitting into that lumbar spine. So you're almost sort of having a little perch on that ball. Okay? So you're pushing back. Come up from the breastbone. And walk back on the ball so the ball's sitting into your lower back. If you haven't got the ball, just have a little just stay lying on the floor for a second, just making sure everyone's okay. Right, placing the hands behind the head. So if you're on the floor, you're going to curl up, slide your hands towards your knees, or have the hands behind the head. If you're on the ball, we're going to drop the head back. Now, don't take it too low. You don't want to take it lower than the ball. You're going to drop the head back, squeezing those abdominals. We're coming up into the curl up. Okay, keep those elbows wide. And in breath, lower back down again. Now, if you want to work harder, obviously drop the head lower. If it's feeling enough for you, then don't drop that head too low. We're going for 6. So in breath to lower, out breath, draw the belly button to spine, squeeze those abdominals as you curl up, and in breath to lower back down again. Good. 3 more. On the out breath, squeeze the belly button to spine as we curl up and lower. 2 more. Squeezing back up. Remember, you can cradle your head, but don't pull your head up. Good. Last one now. On the out breath, draw the belly button to spine. Squeeze those abdominals as we come up. Relax the hands down. We're going to gently just take the glutes down to the floor. Come down to sitting. And we're bringing the ball out in front of us. Good. So legs are in a V. Flexion through the feet. Obviously, if you don't have a ball, just use your hands. Sitting up nice and tall, crown of the head to the ceiling. We're just going to hinge forward. So on the out breath, we're hinging from the hips. Walk the ball forward. I'm going to come into a side. So hinging from the hips, we're going to walk the ball forward. Draw those shoulders down your back and just breathing through that stretch. And then we're going to roll the ball back and round back up and stacking that spine. Good. One more time. Hinging from the hips, walking the ball forward. Shoulders down the back. Drop the head down between the arms. And then drawing the belly button spine, we're going to round back up and stack. I'll show you the next one. We're going to do that again. We're going to hinge forward, take the ball on its side. We're going to roll it over the right foot, lift the left arm up, look up towards the ceiling, fall back to the floor, over the left foot, and look up underneath that right arm. Okay? So when you're ready, take the ball on its side. take the ball over your right toe, look up underneath that arm, back center again. Then we're rolling it over the left foot, look up underneath the right arm. Good. We're going to do one more time to each side. Every time you roll the ball across the front, just hinge from those hips a little lower. Looking up underneath the left arm. Good. Back to the center. Over the left foot. Look up underneath the right arm. Come back to the center. We're going to round back up and stack the spine. Good. So we did this last week without the ball. So those who haven't got the ball, remember last week we just slid the hand down the inside of the thigh. If you've got the ball, we're going to take the left hand behind your back, right hand is on the ball, and the ball is going to run down the inside of the left leg. You're going to push the ball away, and you're taking the chest over the left knee. So we're stretching over the left knee. In breath to center, changing hands. So left hand on the ball, right hand behind, running the ball down the inside of the right leg and take the chest over the knee. Good. In breath to center, changing hands, right hand on the ball, left hand behind, run the ball down the inside of the left leg. So Catherine to the other leg. That's it. And check, that's it. So you're running your hand down the opposite leg, opposite hand, opposite leg. Good. Back up again, changing hands. And we're coming down the right inner thigh. Chest over the knee. Brilliant. Round back up. Perfect. We're going to take hold of the ball, bend the knees, come all the way to the front of the mat. We're going to roll down to the mat. We're only going to do one roll down. If you know roll downs are a little bit difficult, then just leave the ball and just do your roll down to the mat. If you're happy to do it with the ball, stacking the spine, deep breath in, draw the belly button to spine. As we breathe out, we're rounding down, C-curving that back, coming down lumbar, thoracic, take the ball up over the head. If you haven't used the ball, that's fine. Just reach the arms up over the head and lengthen those legs away. And just stretching through the body. Deep breath in through the nose. As you breathe out, just relaxing that lumbar spine. Good. So if you're using the ball, we're going to roll it round and down and place the heels onto the ball. So the knees want to be over the hips. Placing the knees and feet are together, heels over the ball, relaxing the arms down by your side. If you're on the floor, just have both feet on the floor. And we can do the exercise with that. So knees and feet together. We're going to drop the knees open to the side, push the ball away from you, closing the knees and feet up and draw the ball back in. We're just opening up through the hip joint here. So dropping the knees out to the side. So not both together, one to each side. Lengthen the legs away. Close the feet back up again and draw back towards you. Good. Open the knees out to the side. Lengthen the ball away or legs away. Close the knees and feet and draw back in. Two more times. Drop the knees out to the side. Lengthen the legs away. Close back together and draw back in. Good. Last one. Dropping the knees out to the side. Lengthen the legs away. Closing the knees and feet together and drawing the ball back in. We're going to take the calves over the ball now. So the ball is resting underneath the thigh. Take the arms out to the side, palms to the ceiling. So if you're not using the ball, we're just doing the hip rolls. So dropping the knees from one side to the other, On the out breath, controlling the movement, we're going to take both knees to the right, head goes to the left. Now, if you're using the ball, control the movement, don't drop too much. Good. And then take that lumbar spine to the mat as we center back up again. On the out breath, we're taking both knees over to the left, head goes to the right. Good. Controlling the movement, taking both knees back to the center again. Good. One more time to each side. On the out breath, take both knees over to the right, head goes to the left. Now this time you can see if you can drop a little bit more. Control, take the lumbar spine to the mat as you center back up. And on the out breath, we're taking both knees to the left. Now, if you're on the floor, you can take one leg up into tabletop. So we're going to go to the right. So you want to take your left leg up to tabletop. So we're going to do it one more time. Over to the right, controlling the movement. Obviously, now you can see if you can take it a little bit lower. Now the back is all warmed up, but make sure you're using your abdominals to bring yourselves back to the center. Changing legs if you're on the floor. Taking both legs over to the left. Head goes to the right. And we're centering back up again. Brilliant. So relaxing the arms down by your side. We're coming up into the shoulder bridge position. If you're on the floor, I want you to do the glute squeezes. So they're dropping 2 centimeters and squeezing back up when we're up in our shoulder bridge position. If you're on the ball, we'll feel we're going to be working those glutes pretty hard. So if you're on the ball, I want you to dig your heels into the ball and draw that ball towards you. What happens with shoulder bridge as you come up is the legs tend to want to lengthen. Now I want you to keep that ball pulled in, keep those knees bent as you come up into the shoulder bridge position. It's quite hard, so don't worry if you feel like you're working quite hard. So when you're ready, deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're curling that pelvis up off the mat. Keep that ball squeezing in towards you. Keep the knees bent as we lift the hips up, rib cage down. Hold for an in breath. And as we breathe out, we're going to come back down one vertebra at a time, keeping the pelvis curled up until the end. Good. Jane Rod, just take your calves over the ball. That's it. That's it. And keep the ball squeezing in towards the back of your hamstrings. Brilliant. One more time. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, keep that ball pulled in. We're coming up. Don't let those legs lengthen. Pushing the hips up towards the ceiling, rib cage down, and then we're going to lower back down one vertebra at a time, keeping the pelvis curled up to the end. Now, if you're on the ball or the floor, we can take the right and left arm up towards the ceiling, shoulders down your back, making it a little bit harder, curling that pelvis up, and we're peeling the vertebra one at a time as we come up into the shoulder bridge position. Good. If you feel like you really can't keep stable with that, take the arms back down. Holding for an in breath. As we breathe out, we're going to come back down one vertebra at a time, keeping the pelvis curled up until the end. Good. One more time. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're curling the pelvis up off the ball, peeling the vertebra one at a time as we come up into that shoulder bridge position. Hips lifted, rib cage down. On the out breath, we're going to come back down one vertebra at a time, keeping the pelvis curled up until the end. Brilliant. We're going to hug those knees into your chest, rock from side to side, and just loosen that back off. Good. Okay, so we're going to have the right calf over the ball. The left ankle is onto that right knee. Really draw that ball up and behind the right hamstring. And If you're on the floor, you just place your left ankle onto your right knee. And then if you're on the floor, you can either lift your right leg up or just push your left knee away. And then we're going to roll over onto the right side slightly just to increase the stretch. So if you're on the ball, keep the pressure on that left ankle, left knee, sorry, keep that left knee open at 90 degrees. Good. Good. So Jane Rod, I want your left knee open more at 90 degrees. I want you to push that left knee away from you. That's it. And then just slightly rolling on your right side. Good.
Nikki, sorry, but I think my ball's too soft. That's why I'm having trouble.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's
don't
okay.
worry.
I'll cope with it. It's not a problem.
Okay. All right. And we're coming back to the center. We're going to change legs now. So right ankle onto the left knee. Push that right knee away from you. And then we're going to roll over onto the left side. If you're using, if you're on the floor, obviously you can pull the knee up towards you. Good. And then we're just going to roll over onto the right side now. So just come onto the right side slightly. Push and keep pushing that right knee away from you. Good. Feeling that stretch through the glute piriformis. And coming back to the center again. We're going to slide the ball out. Take both feet down to the mat and we're holding the ball in our hands. We're going to place the ball onto the front of the knees. So knees are hip width apart, feet are hip width apart. Place the ball onto the front of the thighs. And we're coming up into the curl up. Now again, if you suffer with neck issues, leave the ball, just protect your neck. You can hold your hands behind the head, okay? And of course, if at any point you need to just come down to the mat, we can just work with the legs rather than coming up from the breastbone. So drawing the belly button to the spine, think about imprinting that lumbar spine into the mat. On the out breath, we're coming up from the breastbone. We're sliding the ball up onto the knees, shoulders down the back. And in breath, we're rolling back down to the floor again. Good. On the out breath, draw the belly button to spine. We're rolling the ball up to the knees. Now, if you want to, you can then lift the ball up towards the ceiling and come back down and take the ball back to the knee and curling back down to the floor. Good. On the out breath, we're rounding up. And again, if you want to take the ball up to the ceiling, this time you can also bring the ball so the arms are by your ears. But if you feel you can't hold that, too much strain on your neck, just keep the ball back to the ceiling. Bring the ball back onto the knees and lower back down again. Good. 3 more times on the out breath. Roll the ball up the knees, take it to the ceiling, bring it the arms by your ears. Good. Back to the knees and rolling back down again. Brilliant. Last time on the out breath, draw the belly button to spine, take the ball up to the knees, arms to the ceiling, take the arms by the ears, back onto the knees, and we're rolling back down to the floor again. Excellent. Take the ball up to the ceiling, imprinting the lumbar spine. We're going to take the right and left leg up into tabletop position. So we're toe tapping. So we're going to lower the left foot to the floor. On the out breath, in breath to center, and then right foot to the floor. Now remember, the focus is on that lumbar spine, that it doesn't lift up off the floor. Good. Now, if you're feeling comfortable with that, the lower back is staying locked down into the mat. As you lower the toe, you can bring the ball back up over your head onto the floor. In breath to center, out breath to lower. Good. So we're going for 10 and 10 for 9 and 9. Good. For 8, lock that back down. And 8 for 7 and 7. Good. For 6. Now, if you need to have a little break in between, that's fine. For 5, lock the back down. Good. For 4 and 4. Good. For 3 and 3. For 2 and 2. Last ones now for 1 and 1. Excellent. Hug the knees in. Place the ball over the front of the shins, rocking from side to side. Good work, everyone. Good. And just loosening that back off. Brilliant. Okay, so we're taking the ball to the side. We're very gently going to roll onto our sides and come up to sitting. Now, if you're not using a ball, I want you to come to lying, come onto all fours. Okay, if you're not using a ball. If you're using the ball, we're going to come to kneeling. The ball's pulled up to the front of the thigh. We're going to lean over the ball. So the ball wants to sit under your lower abdominals, sort of coming onto, well, probably just above the knee, but you want to be able to keep your feet down onto the floor, okay? The wrists are underneath the shoulders, and I want you to have a think about that neutral spine position. So let's have a little play while we're on the ball with arching through that lumbar spine and flattening through the lumbar spine, just so that you're very clear how to get yourselves into that neutral spine position, okay? So have a little play with flattening and arching through the lumbar spine. Once you feel comfortable with that, we're going to start with leg lifts. So if you're on the floor, we're going to start with right leg. Obviously, you want to slide your right leg back. We're squeezing through the right glute, point through the toe. We're taking the right leg up to the ceiling and lower back down. Good. Left leg, reach back. Now remember, this is all about length. You're trying to touch the wall behind you. Reaching it back and up and lower back down again. Back of the head's in line with the spine. We're taking the right leg up and lower back down. Good. And the left leg, reaching it back up and lower back down. Good. So if you're on all fours, you're going to come down to lying on your fronts now. If you're on the ball, stay on the ball. So we're working with double leg lifts now. So we're going to be taking both legs up towards the ceiling. So if you're on the floor, you can either just work with one leg, or if you can, taking both legs up. Keep the heads down though and lower back down again. Good. We're really firing up our glutes here. Now the one thing to watch is that you don't lose your neutral spine, and lower back down. Good. Reach the legs back to touch the wall behind you. Remember, we're looking for length, not particularly height. And lower back down. Good. One more time. Reach the legs back to touch the wall behind you and lower back down. Okay, if you can see me, just watch me for a second. We're going to take the legs back up. Turn the toes out, heels towards each other, and we're going to open and close those legs, all right? Firing up. Now, if you're on your front, see how you get on. It's obviously a little bit harder on your front, So do as many as you can, and of course come into child pose if you need to loosen your back off, okay? All right, so we're taking both legs up, squeezing those glutes, heels towards each other. We're going to open the legs and close. Good. For 8 and close. Squeeze those glutes. 7 and close. 6 and close. Check your neutral spine. For 4 and close. 3 and close. 2 and close. Last one and close. Take the feet back down, bend the knees and round over the ball. So you're just loosening your backs off. Head towards the ball. If you're on your front, come into child pose. Good. Okay. So we're going to come back onto the ball again. Just before we do, we're going to be walking forward again in a minute. So if if you feel you need to have more space in front of you, come back off the ball, bring it back, and we'll just start a little bit again. If you're on your fronts, we're going to come into swimming for this one. So lengthening the leg and arm. Oops, balancing here. So if you're on your front, you're going to go into swimming. If we're on the ball, just checking your neutral spine position again. We're taking both legs up, reaching them back, and we're going to start to kick with the legs. So lifting and lower. Good. For 9. Remember, reach back. You're trying to touch the wall behind you. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We're squeezing those glutes. 2. Last one, take the feet back down, round down over the ball. If you're on your fronts, come back into child pose again. Good. Rounding over the ball, loosening that back off. Good. Okay. So if you're on without the ball, come onto all fours. If you're on the ball, we're going to walk forward now so that the ball is underneath the front of the thighs. So also have it right down over your knees as well. You want to feel like you're taking some weight through your arms. If it gets too much for you, obviously you can roll back on the ball a little bit more to support you. We're going to do our press ups. So keeping your neutral spine position, don't lose that flatness through the back. Slide the elbows towards the ball as you take the nose to the floor. If you're on the all fours, the same thing. We're doing our push-ups, lower back down and pushing back up. Good. For 4 and push back up. For 3, remember, if you're finding it too hard on the ball, bring the ball higher up underneath your abdominals. For 2, last one, push back up. We're going to walk back over the ball, round over the ball, hugging it tight, bend your knees and just loosen off that back. Excellent. Okay, and if you're on the floor, obviously child pose. Brilliant. Okay, we're working on our back muscles here. So if you haven't got the ball, and I'm sorry, we're coming down to lying on the floor again. If you're using the ball, come back to kneeling, have the ball in front of you, and then we're just going to round over the ball and lengthen those legs away from you again, hip width apart. You can slightly bend the knees. Now we want the ball a little bit higher now. So I would say sort of underneath the breast, really. So you want to be able to lift the upper body, the breastbone up away from the ball. That's what we're going to be doing. So have a little feel. Make sure the ball is sort of in the right position. Jane Rod, I know you're struggling with the ball is a bit soft, but just walk forward fractionally more. That's it, yeah. Have the hands on the ball, knees are soft. Now, exactly, so if you're on the floor, you can have the hands on the floor. We're just coming up from the breastbone and lengthening through the back of the neck. So remember your neutral spine, keep flat through that lumbar back. Draw the belly button away from the ball as we lengthen up, and then lower back down to the floor, towards the ball. Good. On the out breath, draw the belly button to spine, shoulders down the back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and lower back down. Now, if you feel comfortable, we're going to go into the W arm. So as we come up, the hands are coming to the shoulders and we're squeezing those shoulder blades together. And lower back down to the ball again. Good. On the out breath, come up from the breastbone, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Good. And lower back down. This next time now, we're going to progress it even more. We're going to come up into the W, sweep the arms back so they're running down towards the sides. Hold it, back to W, and lower back down again. Good. 2 more times if you can. Coming up into the W, arms, draw the belly button to spine. Paul, you could probably come back a little bit more on the ball. You're quite far over the ball. Bring yourself, like, roll the ball more up towards your breast. That's it. Yeah, and you'll probably find it a bit easier there. Okay, and lower back down, unless you want to work harder, and then that's fine too. Okay, on the out breath, one last time, up into W. Sweep the arms back, draw those shoulder blades together. Excellent. Back to W, lower back down. We're going to come back to kneeling. Bring the ball out. If you're on your front, if you haven't got the ball, obviously same exercise. And we're bringing into your child pose. So sitting on your heels, head down to the mat, stretching out through the back. And then we're going to roll the ball round to the right, reaching that left arm away from you. Good. Back to the center. We're rolling the ball round to the left, reaching that right arm away from you. Good. Back to the center. Now, if you're sitting on your heels, I want you to lift the hips up away from the heels. Walk the ball away from you and drop the head down between the arms. Good. And then come back to sitting on your heels, rounding back up and stacking the spine. Excellent. Okay. Back to kneeling. If you haven't got the ball, I want you to come to side lying. Shall we start lying on your right side? And if you were kneeling with your ball, have the ball on the right side. Good. Okay. So we're going to push our hips into the ball, lean into the ball. In fact, we're going to keep the knees bent and we're going to lie over the ball, okay? So we should feel quite comfortable in this position where our hand is on the floor. If your knee's uncomfortable, you can just take the knee a little bit away from the ball. That just takes a little bit of pressure off the ball. Good. Think about the waist pulling up away from the ball and make sure you're in your neutral spine position. We're coming into the clam, so if you're on the floor, you know the clam. We're going to squeeze through that left glute and we're taking the knee out to the side and lower back down. Now make sure the shoulder is down, your supporting arm, the shoulder is down away from the ear, and that the back of the head is in line with the spine, so not that you're collapsing the head or pulling it up too much. Good. So for 4, and lower. Good. 3, we're going to hold it up here now, and we're pulsing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, knee and ankle up to hip height, and we're pulsing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. This time we're going to take the knee and ankle up, but we're circling. So we're going to bring the knee forward. Big circle, round, back, and down. Good. We're doing 3 in each direction. Again, any clicking in that hip joint, just reduce the circle. Good. And then we're reversing for 3, for 2, and last one. Brilliant. Take that knee down, give it a pat off. We're going to lengthen that leg away from you. Again, I want you to think about staying nice and long in that top line. Don't get all scrunched down. Keep the shoulders stacked. Outer thigh raise. So pointing through the toe, we're taking the leg up. Flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen, and lower. Good. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen, and lower. 3 more times. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen, and lower. 2 more. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen, and lower. Last one. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Okay. Everyone feeling okay, or you feeling that side? Okay, Lee. So just give it a bit of a loosen off. We're not doing any more outer thigh work. We're working our oblique muscles here. See how you get on. If you need to come to the floor, come to the floor. So I'll talk you through it. If you're on the floor, you'll probably pretty much figure out what we're doing. We're going to start with the left hand over the top. We're going to bring the left arm over, squeeze the oblique muscles, and pull ourselves up. Now, we're not tipping forward with the body. We're staying in a complete center line, squeezing these obliques, and then lower back down to the floor again. So if you're on the floor, you're just coming up as high as you're incorporating these muscles. Don't pull your neck. Back of the head stays in line with your spine. Good. And lower back down again. Good. Doing 3 more. On the out breath, squeezing through those oblique muscles. Pull yourself up and lower. Good. 2 more. Remember, we're not using the supporting arm to lift us. We're using these muscles. And lower. Good. And last one now. Squeezing those obliques. Pull yourself up. Run the hand down towards your knees. We're going to take both arms over, and I want you to just feel that you're stretching out all through that left side. So reach the hands towards the floor. There's a nice gentle stretch opening up through that left side. Brilliant. So coming back to kneeling, if you're on the floor, just roll over onto the other side, and we've got the ball on that left side. Good. All okay? I know it's harder with the ball. So everyone's still there. I feel like, is it freezing a bit? Okay, am I back? All right. Okay, so ball onto the left side. Push your hip into the ball and then roll over the ball. Keeping both knees bent. Just make sure, as I said before, if it's too much on your left knee, you can just move your left knee away from the ball fractionally. Try and keep the shoulders in a straight line, and stacked hips are staying stacked. Good. How are we doing there, Lee? Lee, can you come up over the ball a bit more? Is it a bit big? Okay. I can't hear you. See how we get on. So squeezing that right glute. We're going to take that knee and ankle up to hip height and lower back down again. Good. Squeezing through the glute. Lee, what you can do is rest your hand on the ball rather than reaching to the floor. But obviously you'll have to kind of control the movement a bit more. This time we're going to hold it here and we're pulsing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. On the out breath, squeezing up, and we're pulsing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. We're taking the knee and ankle up. We're circling this time, so bring the knee forward, down, round, back and up. Remember, we're just loosening off this hip joint, taking the ball and socket through its full range of movement. Any pain, reduce the circles. We're changing directions for 3. And please remember, if at any point of any of these exercises don't work for you on the ball, just come down onto the floor. That's not a problem. Back to the center. We're going to lower that leg back down, and now we're going to point through the toe and take the leg out nice and long. Remember, nice and long through that top line. Don't get all scrunched down. Pointing through the toe, taking the leg up, flex, lengthen, and lower. Good. Pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Good. 4 more. Pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower. Pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. 2 more. Pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower. Last one. Pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Keep the leg long. We're going to drop the waist over the ball, bring the right arm over the top. Good. On the out breath, using these oblique muscles, we're curling up. Now remember, the supporting hand doesn't do anything other than maybe stop you wobbling, but it's not pushing you up. And lower back down again. Good. For 3, squeeze those obliques as you come up and lower. For 2, squeezing to come up and lower. Good. Last one, squeezing to come up and lower back down. Just lying over the ball, stretching it out. Excellent. Good. So we're coming back up to kneeling with your ball. So again, if you haven't got the ball, Catherine, I saw you grabbed your roller. You could use your foam roller for this one. Otherwise, obviously, you just do it along the floor. That's fine. So kneeling with the ball in front of you. I'll show you. I'll show you this one first before we start. So we're going to roll the ball forward, down into the child pose, round back up, stack the spine, draw the ball towards you, and we're coming into the back extension. Okay. So rounding down. In fact, probably better to keep the hips lifted off the heels. Push the ball forward. Good. Round back up. Draw the belly button to spine into the back extension, eyes to the ceiling. Good. We're doing 3 of those. So rounding through the back. Keep the hips lifted off the heels. Roll the ball away. Drop the head down. Rounding back up, drawing the belly button to spine. Stack the spine. Draw the belly button in. into the back extension. And we're just going to finish with a flexing off. So we're just rounding back down and then rounding and stacking that spine, coming up to your kneeling position. Brilliant. Okay. So is stretch. So we're going to stretch through the right side. I would suggest, if you haven't got the ball, come up to standing. It's the one where you have the knee bent and back leg straight. Hold for about 10 seconds. If we've got the ball, we're going to take the left leg to the side of the ball. And then we're going to drop the upper body over the ball and slide the right leg back. Don't tuck the toe under yet. We're going to keep the top of the foot flat on the floor and just drop the head down on the ball till you start to feel a bit of a pull through that right side. Then we can tuck the toe underneath us and lift up and straighten that back leg. If that feels enough of a stretch through that right side, stay there. If you want to increase it, you can now lift up off the ball, shoulders down the back, and just feeling that stretch. Keep that back leg straight. 2, 1. Lower the knee back down to the floor. We're coming back to kneeling and we're changing side. Okay. So bring the ball in. Right knee. Let me turn around. So right knee to the ball. We're going to curl ourselves over the ball. Lengthen the left leg away until you feel a nice stretch through that left side. And then tuck that left toe underneath you and straighten that left leg. That might be enough of a stretch through that left psoas. But if you want to increase it, you can lift up from the breastbone. Keep the shoulders down the back. Good. As long as you're feeling a good stretch through that left front of the thigh. Brilliant. 2, 1. Come back onto your knees. We'll just round down over the ball. Okay, so come back up to kneeling. We're going to come up to standing now. I'm going to just lift my camera up slightly. So we're standing with the ball in front of you. I'll just show you the first one. So feet are slightly hip width apart, keeping the legs straight. We're going to walk round down, walk the ball forward. So you're thinking of reaching the arms forward, tailbone back. Feel that stretch through the back. Bend the knees, roll the ball towards you, round back up, and stack the spine with the ball up above the head. Okay. Then, keeping the legs straight, draw the belly button to spine. We're rounding down, crown of the head follows the ball. Walk the ball forward, tailbone reaches back, crown of the head reaches forward. Breathing through that stretch. Soften through the knees, walk the ball back towards you. Round back up. With the ball, stacking the spine, come up to standing. You can't see my ball, but it's there. Keep the knees soft, core engaged, over into a left side bend. And center, good. Right side bend. And center. We'll just do one more, roll down. Take the crown of the head to the ball. Leave the ball there as we round back up and stack that spine. Excellent work, everyone.